When I lived closer to downtown, I used to like try to sort of like not the most convenient place to walk, but I try to get my dog over there.
Or you know, there's two other areas west in this general area.
Sure. I believe it. There are places in town that are our zone types are a little mismatched to the development age. That I will say this area in general has some of that. As opposed to commenting specifically.
I would just say that I think this area really they have this form.
Is why they have
The reason they have these boards.
So Andy did. Yeah. Nor do we have the applicants. You know what I mean?
in Zoom.
There's Sarah Google,
You say
Sarah Google, O-O-B-L-E.
I was expecting Sophia.
That's the only.
and Andy is, is not.
Andy is not to do with whatever she did.
So I spoke to the applicant today on the phone. She is aware.
Okay.
So. And if we sent out a bad link, then we'll have 5 applications next month.
Wow, is that the same link?
I'll buy everybody a beer.
Mike, can you hear us?
I can,
Perfect. Thank you so much for attending on such short notice.
you bet.
The link works.
Andy, did you share?
Sarah, go
Okay,
ahead.
yeah, this is Sarah. Sorry, I was on mute. I'm trying to do this on my phone and it's a little more difficult. I'm just the next door neighbor. I live at 218 and 220 Miller. So
Okay.
I'm just curious about the potential side encroachment. That's all.
Okay, well, thank you for attending and I'm sure you will find some more information. And if you have any comment, there will be a chance for public comment later.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
So on the west side. So we've had this conversation before and decided to split this into 2 variances this time and we'll continue to do it this way in the future. But we have just handled this by doing just a front setback and having the intent the intent in the drawing showed implied that it's also going into the side, but we're doing this too.
So pardon me if I butcher your name, but Tice, are you the only representative from B Spark on tonight?
Sophia should be joining us shortly, but
Okay.
I'm the interior designer for the Lacey home on Miller.
Okay,
But
all
yes,
right,
Sophia should be here too.
all right, we'll wait for her.
Thank you so much.
Yes. I will not be chair.
Yeah.
It was maybe one that, one Fisher. 81.
So who's,
This is especially extended full time and first term. So this is both of their last term on the board.
do you want to,
Last term, 2025.
Let me take a look.
do you want to, for the next meeting, send us a statement to put it on to new business? That you begin discussions on that? Or that just that you're holding a vote?
Why don't you just do that?
I'll put that on.
No, it's not on this one and it should be on the agenda. Sorry, I'm okay, sir.
You're saying elect, how, I mean.
The board members nominate, well, I was appointed, officially nominated in.
We'll do a new chair and then vice chair. I point, nobody. Really want to do it, but I need to.
So we do have the applicant on the call now. So whenever you are ready to start, we can get started.
Okay. This is Byron Staley, the Chair of the Board of Adjustments. Good evening. We're at our January 3rd, 2023 Board of Adjustment meeting. And first item, we will do a roll call to ensure that we have enough people to do business, which I know we do, but April, would you please lead us in roll call?
Absolutely. So Commissioner Shirtliff is absent. Ms. Eggline? Here. Chair Staley,
Present.
Vice Chair Fetterman is absent. Again, I'm sorry, Tim, I am going to butcher your last name and it'll take a couple times, but Mr. Toth?
It's Tholt.
Tholt. I have
For hesitant.
TOTH for some reason.
Yeah.
Tholt, okay. And you are present, and Mr. Newhouse.
Present.
Okay, so we have a quorum with 4 members present.
Great, thank you. Just a quick reminder for those who care or don't care. We do have 4, which is a quorum, but to approve anything, we have to have a unanimous decision when we have 4 in attendance. When we have 5, 4 out of 5 voting in favor will approve something, but when we only have 4, well, it has to be unanimous, just so everybody's aware of that. So let's get right into our public hearing on this variance tonight. Actually, two variances for the same property. Michael, will you lead us into that, please?
Thank you. Thank you, Chair Staley. I still have my, there we go. Okay, so as Chair Staley and just stated, I am Michael Alvarez. I'm a planner with the City of Helena, and tonight is the Board of Adjustments hearing for January 3rd, 2023. I'm going to first go over the variance review criteria. Pursuant to section 1155C of City Code, to approve a requested variance for a new building or portion thereof, the Board of Adjustment shall consider the following standards and find as follows. 1, the variance will not create a significant risk to the public health, safety, or general welfare. 2, the variance will not significantly reduce or impair the peaceful use of existing property or improvements in the vicinity and the zoning district in which the subject property is located. And 3, strict compliance with the provisions of this title would create unnecessary hardship or practical difficulty. In evaluating the standards in C, the Board of Adjustments may consider the following factors. 1, special conditions and circumstances that are unique to the applicant's site, including the size of the property, unusual or extreme topography, or unusual shape of the property. 2, the height, location, or dimensions of existing structures located on the site or in the vicinity of the site. 3, whether there is a prevalence of nonconformities in the vicinity of the site that are similar to the variance requested. 4, the subsequent imposition of zoning restrictions creating non-conforming lots or parcels and governmental actions beyond the applicant's control. 5, whether a literal interpretation of the provisions of this title would deprive the property owner of rights commonly enjoyed by other properties similarly situated in the same district under the terms of this title. 6, the extent to which the hardship or difficulty results from the actions of the applicant. And 7, whether the granting the variance requested will confer an unreasonable special privilege to the subject property that is not available to other properties similarly located in the same zoning district. 1155F of City Code states the following. The Board of Adjustments may impose conditions to minimize adverse impacts that the variance may have on the public health, safety, or general welfare. Any approval that includes conditions is subject to the terms of the conditions. Conditions stated in the approval may include, but are not limited to, a time period in which the proposed structure shall be completed and other conditions necessary to mitigate adverse effects from the variance. It is the recommendation of the City Attorney's Office that staff does not make a recommendation to approve or deny a variance. Montana law states the Board of Adjustment has authority to consider upon appeal in specific cases such variance from the terms of the ordinance as will not be contrary to the public interest, where owing to special conditions, a literal enforcement of the provisions of the ordinance will result in unnecessary hardship, and so that the spirit of the ordinance shall be observed and substantial justice done. If the Board of Adjustment approves the requested variance, the following conditions are recommended: that a building permit must be obtained within 1 year. All right, so tonight we're here for 210 Miller Street. This is consideration of 1, a variance from section 1142 to decrease the front lot line minimum setback from 10 feet to 0 feet for a property with a legal description of lot 4 of block 31 of the original town site, Helena, Lewis and Clark County, Montana. And 2, a variance from section 1142 to decrease the side lot line minimum setback from 6 feet to 3 feet for a property with a legal description of lot 4 of block 31 of the original town site, Helena, Lewis and Clark County, Montana. And the reason for this variance is to rebuild the front porch in such a manner that fits the historic nature of the property and the neighborhood. So, history of applicable permitting action. This property has largely been neglected and does not have relevant permitting action. It was cataloged in the Helena Historical Architectural Inventory back in 1981. So as you can see here, this is it's outlined in red there. It's in an RO district adjacent, nearest adjacent district is the transitional residential district. And you can see the site layout in comparison to the house next to it as well. And here is a better plan, a site plan that shows the alley for the side setback. It is the new porch would not step any farther into beyond where the house currently is. Would actually be stepped in slightly from that. You can see the current or most recent setup with the porch and a ramp. The ramp actually currently goes into the right of way. After comments from transportation, the new porch they've asked them to be completely out of the right of way so there will be a full sidewalk there. We're just going up to 0 foot. There's no encroachment. And then you can see the original porch, although even in this photo in a dilapidated condition, but you can see the home originally did have a porch out front. As of Tuesday, December 27, 2022, should have corrected this. We didn't have a public comment at that date, but we have had a public comment since then. And I'll read that into the record now for those in attendance. I live across, this is from Will Garvin, a neighbor. It says, I live across Miller Street at 212 State Street. While I support the application request regarding the street setback reduction to 0 feet, I have a comment for the owner. I believe that only minimal people do minimal things, which is another way of saying that adhering precisely to the limit, any limit should be avoided. In this case, I request that after you get the permission, which I support, I hope you choose to build several inches from the property line, maybe even a foot. I have no comment on the side yard distance matter. And the rest of it's not relevant.
And Michael, just for the record, that was received January 2nd,
Second.
correct?
Yes. Yes, Chair.
Okay, great. Board, is there any questions for Michael? Any questions for staff?
Is there a drawing that shows a close-up of the porch, like dimensions, street, like just so I have a better understanding of how big it is and also on the side yard?
The best one I have tonight that I can offer is this one.
Okay,
As a site plan. I have all of the building documents and I can I could make those available if you wanted to wait. I can go grab them.
okay. That might help in understanding how deep the porch is and how much room they actually need, and
Sure.
I guess
The applicant can also answer that question. The porch is going to be about 5 feet deep.
it's about 5 feet. Okay, we can wait.
Other questions for staff?
And I guess I would also point out that the front of the home would be in the required setback. So it's, you know, if you're putting a porch in front of this home, it will be in the setback. Because the home is there.
And am I looking at this right, Mike? The porch won't come any farther than the house either? Or am I not looking at that right?
That's correct. Yeah. So where the bay window is,
Right.
the porch, I mean, within a couple of inches.
Right.
Something
Yeah.
like
I
that.
think that's key to
Yeah.
keep in mind too.
Okay, on the drawing there, the heavy dash line right in front of the bay window. It looks like it goes under the roof. Like that it's angled. Is that the setback line that we're talking about? Or, I mean, or is that,
Right. Yeah, so that heavy dash line is the property line that where we would start being set back from. I am seeing that it looks like this front porch goes over that line by like 6 inches. It's transportation has already made a comment and they've already given us new drawings, so I need to check. They may have
Okay.
moved that back to the property line there, the 6 inches.
okay, I guess the next question is the house not parallel to the property line, which it might not be, or
It's slightly off, yeah.
it's like, okay.
All right, thanks.
Well, welcome, Andy. And yeah, we started the meeting just because we did have a quorum, but glad you made it.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, again, one of these unusual things that, you know, if that is the property, yeah, that line, then it appears that, again, that the street is not parallel with the property line, which wouldn't surprise me in this location, so.
So the biggest comment and back and forth was, I would say for the applicant was with transportation systems and making sure that they had a full width sidewalk in front of the home, and they will have that. Did I answer the question? Sorry. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Michael. No more questions for staff at this time. Let's let's give the applicant an opportunity to address the board.
Good evening. Thank you so much for hearing us for 210 Miller. I think, Michael, you represented the project very well. I wanted to add that into 2022, the National Park Service reviewed the property again, and it approved part 1. So it is considered specifically a historic district contributing property. So with this design, we're going for the National Park Service historic rehabilitation tax credits, which is part of the context of recreating the front entrance that was, demolished in recent history and replaced with this sort of ramshackle ramp piece. The other comment that was made was the property line. The plots in this part of the city came after these buildings, these historic buildings. So yes, they're slightly off. And if you look at the old Sanborn maps, you will see that each time they drew the maps, it was shifted a slightly bit more. I can say that from all the research we did, the proposed porch matches the historic porch and is smaller than this existing ramp. And then the last thing that I wanted to mention, and I can dig up the plan on my side, is that after working with transportation on creating a complying sidewalk in the front, to be reduced the size of this front porch by another 6 inches. So it would in fact be smaller than is shown here. I'm happy to answer any other questions.
Great, thank you. Board, do we have questions for the applicant?
No questions for Mr. Newhouse.
Hi, this is Tracy. I noticed on the elevation, it looked like the front downspout was dumping onto the sidewalk. Is there plans? That bothered me because I'm worried about ice being created there.
Yes, no, that is a great comment. Where the entire property is kind of sloping back towards the backyard. So we're planning to create a sort of absorption pit back there. Unless, as we work for the permit, there's some storm that we can tie into. But yeah, we're planning to bring it to the back.
Okay,
and we can add that comment with the concern for ice, that given the weather is a very valid concern.
Great. Other questions for the applicant?
I'm okay.
All right.
May I make one more comment about it?
Certainly.
Just
Go ahead.
That the relationship to the street specifically is one of the aspects that the South Historic District has been nominated for and is known for. So while it is obviously not compliant with current zoning and setback codes, it is exemplary for what that neighborhood used to be.
Thank you. Okay, now is the call for any public comments from anybody in attendance on Zoom, et cetera, that wishes to make a public comment. So call for public comment.
If you wish to make a public comment, go ahead and raise your hand. There are no hands raised at this time.
Let's see, maybe I'll make one more call for public comment because I think previously we knew there was somebody out there in attendance for this portion of it. So I'll give one more call for public comment and then we'll move on. And if that person happens to come back, I think we can give them an opportunity later. So one more call for public comment at this time.
There are no hands raised.
Thank you. Okay, we'll move along.
The neighbor understands.
Sarah, do you have any comment at all? Or any other?
Okay, I'm unmuted now. I have no comments on this portion. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah.
Okay, so next step here, board comments, deliberation. What are we thinking on this one?
I guess I'll just start off saying I appreciate the applicant's thorough application here. It's one of the better applications I've seen in my short time here. So I appreciate the thoroughness on it. And I do think this section of town is why the board was made, because it is awkward lots and situations occur. So I would be in favor of this.
Thank you. Other comments or discussion?
I would be in favor of this variance, Mike Newhouse.
Thanks, Mike. I would as well. It definitely, I think it's appreciate the detailed drawings as well. It's nice having those, but definitely in character with, I think, what was there historically, be a nice addition. And I have no issue with the variance requested.
I guess I have on the back, it looked like this patio lines up with the side of the house. And then is it sunken? I know that the lot slopes quite a bit to the back. Is the patio sunken at all, or is there like a retaining wall around it? I just didn't understand it as well. Is it on the drawings? Is it on the back? Does that make sense what I'm asking?
I'd be happy to answer that if I don't speak out of line.
Certainly, go ahead.
Mhm. Yes, that section by the back door was lowered. This was in part in response to the previous developer who attempted to create a downstairs apartment, and they were told that they needed an even entry exit out of that. So we lowered that section and then step it up to the current level around that sort of section of sunken courtyard, but we're not building anything up other than the retention walls where we step down.
Okay, you don't have any retaining walls or anything that are over 30 inches back there in height?
No, nothing that sticks out from the current terrain, mostly that would kind of encroach onto like the neighbors setback, if that makes sense. Are you concerned about fall protection or zoning with that question?
Fall protection. I was just curious how terrain wise, topography wise, I was trying to understand it a little better.
Yep. So with planters around it, but a handrail by the back stairs. So I can dig up some more detailed plans that go into the landscape there.
Okay.
If that's a concern, or feel free to make a note, on the approval.
I do think, Mike, correct me if I'm wrong, for this variance, we're just looking at the front porch section?
There's a side.
But is it just for that front porch section in regards to the side lot?
It'll just be for the front porch.
Yeah.
Is the intent.
Oh,
here.
sorry, we're not looking at the side setback also.
It would just be the side setback for the porch.
For the porch.
Oh, for the porch. Sorry.
Be-
I thought
because
side
it,
setback, which usually applies to the whole project.
So
Sorry,
The,
that's my error.
it's-
it's a good comment. The reason it was flagged is that that porch, even though it sets in from the existing building, the building is inside the setback, and as such, the reconstruction of that porch triggered that piece.
Okay, we're just looking at the porch. Thank you. I
Yeah,
so
no,
shaped that.
if I may,
Certainly.
thank you. So because we had some of similar discussion about what would be approved with the variance when we were talking about that garage that was tilted in September. I think it was in September, on like 730 Flowery, I want to say. I've gotten some clarification. So intent will carry with the reason for the variance. So here on this slide, I give the reason for the variance. It ties it to the porch. So.
Great. Thank you for that, Michael. So if no other discussion, I'd entertain a motion on the variances.
I will make a motion that we accept the variance from section 11-4-2 to decrease the front lot line minimum setback from 10 feet to 0 feet for a property with a legal description of lot 4 of block 31 of the original town site, Helena, Lewis and Clark County, Montana.
Mike, do you mind adding that building permit stipulation within 1 year?
With the stipulation that a building permit be obtained within 1 calendar year.
Great, thank you. We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second,
Thanks, Tracy. There's a motion, a second. Any further discussion on the motion? Hearing none, call for the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Great. That motion passes, and we have one other variance.
One question, Mike, do we need to clarify that this is only for the front porch and not for the rest of the building?
Good question, but no, you do not.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve the variance from section 11-4-2 to decrease the side lot line minimum setback from 6 feet to 3 feet for a property with a legal description of lot 4 of block 31 of the original town site, Helena, Lewis and Clark County, Montana, and that a building permit must be obtained within 1 year.
Thank you. There's a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion on the motion? Hearing none, seeing none, call for the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. All right, that motion carries. Thank you all, and thank you to the applicant for presenting tonight.
thank you very much.
Thank you, board.
Did we want to backtrack a bit and improve minutes from previous meetings tonight?
Thank you very much for that, April. It's realized I had missed that, and just to show that I do read these once in a while. Most of the time I do read the minutes on some comments I made during that block of time noted 1535. There was just a typo. It says card. What that was supposed to be was cars.
I will get that fixed.
All right, thank you. If there's no other corrections to the minutes, we'll take a motion on approval of the minutes.
My name's spelled wrong,
I will also get that fixed.
but either or.
with our apologies.
Motion to approve minutes. Somebody take that on, please.
Sure. I move to approve the minutes from our last meeting.
Thank you, Tracy. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Great. Motion a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. That motion carries. Great. Thanks for the reminder there, April. Any other business for us tonight, Michael? Just note that the next meeting is February 7th, and it sounds like we have a full agenda. So well, I know I'm available, and we'll keep myself available.
We should have 4 items. Yeah, a
Great.
couple of signs, a garage, the usual fare.
Great. And then some discussion we did have, we had April just in advance put on our next agenda item. So it's noticed that we will be electing new chair and vice chair for the year. So that as
And
well.
just to inform you, as we were discussing earlier, both Bert and Byron's terms will expire on October 1st of this year.
Of this year. Thank you. Okay, anything else for the good of the order? All right, thank you all. Appreciate it. Go ahead, Andy.
Mr. Chair, thank you. Number one, I'd like to apologize for missing our November 1st meeting. I was sick with the COVID. I got that right before Halloween. I dodged it for nearly 2.5 years, 3 years, and just wanted to say I'm sorry I missed it, and also too for being late tonight. I was late from another meeting, but also too, I was sitting at the chamber. I don't know why I saw Chambers and I thought Chamber of Commerce. So I was at the wrong building. So my apologies. And I was following along on the car ride over here, but thanks to the staff for being here tonight as well. And thanks for everybody for being here. I will be here at the meeting in February. Thank you.
Awesome. Okay. Thanks, everyone. We'll adjourn.
Thank you. Happy New Year.